All right, Darren, you see those numbers. Certainly impressive. Team high, 7 tackles for you in this particular matchup. Why was the team so good in your mind on that side of the football tonight?
I feel like Coach G and all the coaches on the defensive side, Coach Herm included, did a pretty good job preparing us for this week. We had some extra time to prepare, so I feel like Coach G did a good job with conditioning. We did a good job in the weight room, and everybody was on the same page out there. I feel like our defense got stronger. I feel like throughout the game, our chemistry started to get up a little higher. We started talking a lot more to where Coach G started, giving a lot more better, some good calls. So
I like that. There were some good calls indeed, no doubt. Curious for you, coming into this game, right? You had a true freshman center. You had a true freshman quarterback. Did it impact you at all? And if not, how much confidence did you have in the offensive line specifically?
I felt like there was nothing that I felt like was out of the ordinary. I felt like we have a great group of guys. Even though we had a freshman center, we had some veteran guys around him to help him communicate. Guys like Cole Cabral, we had Steve Miller on the other end as well. Alex Lasoya has been doing a good job, and even Jared Bell has been doing a good job of stepping into that role. And as far as Jaden, we've got a great group of veteran receivers who's helping him out. You've seen what Brandon Ayuk can do.
I'm curious. We were talking going back defensively. The one thing we noticed from the moment the opening kickoff is how physical you guys were at the point of attack. Whether it was the way you guys rallied around the football, in particular, now at times you see guys will reach out, drag people down, but you guys really seem to focus on striking, running your feet, running guys back. Is that something that you guys and your coaching staff really had you guys focus a lot on in practice?
Yeah, we prepare a lot of in the offseason. We did a lot of tackling drills, a lot of open space tackling drills. So I feel like in our defense, we really like to thump. We like to apply pressure. So I feel like that was the reason why you saw that a lot tonight.
That was pretty obvious. Yeah. Curious what it's like, Coach Edwards. He told us yesterday when we met with him about naming captains, and it wasn't a vote. It was his call. When he told you, when you guys were going to be the leaders of this team, what was that like for you?
I think he pulled me into his office. We sat down, and he was telling me, you don't got to tell me now, but I want you to be a captain of this team, and you could come to my office a few days later and tell me what you want to do. And I told him right then and there, like, Coach, I'm ready, and this is what I want to do. And so I just felt like it was a big relief off my shoulder. I feel like I've been working hard. I've gained the respect of my teammates and coaches, and so just for him to approach me with that conversation was a really great feeling.
We always just talk about leadership was either one or two things. It came from position or it came from privilege, right? If you're the quarterback, you need to be the leader just by position. When you look back at your ability and when Coach said, hey, I want you to be the captain, what was it about that you guys thought that you did to put yourself in that position, that he saw you in that light and that your teammates see you in that light?
I think I thought back to high school, really. I think my going into my senior year, I think my head coach told me if I wasn't a captain of this football team, he was going to be disappointed in me. So I took that upon myself to work hard and gain the respect of my teammates. And same thing applied in this same situation here. We've been grinding for a long time, and I think really Camp T is where we really understood each other. We understood, like, this is what we want to get out of this season, and just us being around each other, I really felt like we had that bond there.
Darren, I know when the game is over, team goes back in, they listen to Coach Edwards. Describe what that scene is like after the first win of the year.
A lot of excitement. It's a lot of excitement. I feel like everybody we really locked in at that time once we got our prayer going. Everybody just wanted to hear, we got to take it 1 week at a time, and he stresses that once you can't go 2-0 till you win the next week, So he takes it 1 week at a time. He never want to rush things. He's the type of guy who talks play by play, leave things behind, and don't think too hard.
Darren, I believe it was week 9 last year. You played as many snaps as you did all of high school, and Coach talked to us about the wall that freshmen hit. Curious how you feel now, and how did you talk to some of the freshmen we saw to play tonight on the defensive side?
With the freshmen, they coming in, a lot of them coming back from home, from California. I felt we already had sort of a connection from knowing each other or playing against each other. It's like just telling them that when they come in, there's a standard that you need to meet. So, and it's very high. So when you come here, be on your P's and Q's, and everybody, and follow me. I will lead you. Everything I tell them.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to step on you, but you were talking about the fact that guys from California, and that's been a shift since Coach Edwards came back here to Arizona State, that really getting into Southern California in particular to recruit. Has it been easier as guys have seen, like, hey, I know that guy, and I know this guy, and I've seen him play, and he was a baller, and now he's at A-State. Have you starting to see that change in terms of how recruiting has been around here?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like it could get a lot better, but we're doing all right now. I feel like AP does a good job with recruiting with those guys back home from LA. So, yeah.
Before I let you guys get going, from your perspective, when we were talking to Coach Likens, he had made reference to the fact that with Manny being gone and Nikhil being gone, there's obvious big voids that need to be filled. But he said, in some regard, it wasn't disrespect to Nikhil Harry, but he said it might be easier to make some adjustments in terms of spreading the ball around and play calling. How different is the offense going to be this season compared to last year?
I think really everyone's knowing their role. Everyone can get the ball. We've got great playmakers on the outside. You've seen what Frank Darby can do. Even Kyle Williams, Brandon Ayuk, and even Ethan Long, just getting him in there. So I think we've got playmakers around, and there's not necessarily a force to get one person the ball. Just letting Jaden go through his read and going from there.
I'm actually wondering if you guys were as fired up when Ethan gets into the ball game as Yogi was. Like, this dude was jumping up and down, and he was like, oh, check this out. They're running Sparky. Let's see what he's got. You were geeked up.
I was, man. He was impressive.
Yeah, for sure, man. He deserved it. He came in, and he's been a workhorse in the weight room since day one, and he's definitely got the team's respect. And just seeing him go out there and do what he does is it's special. Just coming in as a quarterback and being able to accept the change to move positions just to help the team is a huge impact.
I got to ask you, when you run, we've talked about this before, but I feel as though there was multiple times tonight where somebody's about to tackle you, and you just give them the old okey doke, and whoop, all of a sudden they go all the way into the grass, and you keep running. How do you set that up?
I think in high school, everyone was trying to dance, do moves. I think now at the Lex level and even in the NFL, it's the game of football is about leverage. And so once you know how to set people up and maneuver and know what they're going to do before they do it, it'll help it, and it'll go a long way for you.
Tonight, defensively, you guys are absolutely dominant. So how do you now take the next step next week? What's the motivation now? I mean, how do you get better than holding the team to 80 yards passing? You had -1 yards. You were giving up passing in the third quarter. Some things. What are some things that you already know going into the locker room? All right, here's some things that we have to clean up going into Sac State.
Sac State, I feel like we got to clean up our tackling. I mean, missed tackles extends drives, so I feel like next week our coaches are going to be on that. Pretty tough. We didn't do too good tackling. I think we did all right, but we could do a lot better. So that's something that we'll take into next week with us.
Coach Gonzalez is going to find something to focus in on. Guys, look, good luck next week. Congratulations on a Week 1 win. And this reference might kind of go over your head. Remember Tim Hardaway, basketball player?
I do, yeah.
All right, yeah, like you got a little bit of that killer crossover. If there was like the basketball, like and one mixtape when you're out there,